All right, cool. So I used to do a podcast called PDA, and this is when I first started in my personal development journey. And literally, PDA actually stands for Professional Development with a Free-for, or Personal Development with a Free-for, each of the two. And I was teaching all of the things that I was learning along the way. And I stopped it because I was just a bit inconsistent with it. So starting this new YouTube thing where I'm going to be uploading videos on YouTube on a consistent basis and see how it goes. Everyone starts from somewhere. My inspiration is actually Alex Hormozy. If you haven't heard of him, you should look him up. And I remember I used to watch Alex Hormozy content when I first started, again in 2022, when I first was doing some salesy stuff. And I knew nothing about sales. And someone actually asked me if I had any sales experience, and I blagged it. I said yes, even though I didn't. And I went on YouTube and I looked through lots of different sales content, and his really resonated with me. And I learned a lot from him. What would happen at the time is that I would have these sales classes, let's say, on a regular basis in central London with another organization. So what I would do is during the day, I would watch an Alex Hormozy video, and then in the night, I would be able to implement the things that he taught me. And yeah, my what started as a personal development journey turned into a life-changing experience, which I guess is why I'm speaking about this in my first video, the importance of personal development. I couldn't give you a proper definition of personal development. I don't know what the Google definition is, but for me, personal development is just you caring about yourself. Now, think about the way we make money. I don't think we make money for the time that we spend doing something. I believe we get paid money for the value that we add to the marketplace in a certain time period. So, explained simply, that means that if I'm making £7 an hour working at McDonald's, I am adding £7 of value into the marketplace and I'm being rewarded for that. To make more money, you need to add more value to the marketplace. To add more value to the marketplace, you need to be more valuable. To make yourself more valuable, you need to work on yourself. That's when personal development comes into it. When I think about my journey and I think about all my peers that earn a lot, they have done so by becoming experts in stuff, by becoming very knowledgeable in things. And you can only become an expert or very knowledgeable by doing stuff to work on yourself. So let's bring it back down to the person who's currently working at McDonald's for £7 an hour. Or let's use my journey. Okay, I was driving for £9.50. So in 2021, it's well documented. I was a delivery driver for £9.50. What steps did I take to become the person that I am now? The first thing that I decided to do is I decided to read some self-help books. And I think that's a really good starting point. As a starting point, just read any self-help book. The reason is because you need help. You need help, I'll be honest. So read a self-help book. The self-help books that I started with were the usual ones. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What else did I read? I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read You're a Badass at Making Money by Jan Sincero. I read Richest Man in Babylon. That was a really good one. There are a number of different books that you can read in it. Now, if you're not a reader, then start watching different kinds of content. Start watching personal development content. And that could literally be listening to a Les Brown speech, listening to Eric Thomas, listening to Tony Robbins, just the people that are synonymous with self-help, personal development. That's a good starting point. And then in my journey, I just needed to figure out what was the thing that I was going to grow, what was the skill that I was going to develop. And for me, my skill ended up being speaking. And I just fell into that. But for you, that could be anything. So I have friends that are expert at building communities. So literally, they're just putting people together. I have friends that are experts at running events. I know people that are experts at motivating people. I know people that are experts at helping people lose weight. I know people that are experts at editing videos. I know people that are experts at interviewing. Your expertise can really be in anything, but what you want to do, if you want your life to improve, is you need to get some expertise. You build expertise by doing things a lot. That's the only way to do it. So you can watch my video, you can watch any other video, you can read books. That is the starting point. The step after that is you need to go out there and do a lot of the things that you want to grow in expertise. There's no other way for you to get better at doing stuff than doing stuff. I wish there was another hack, but trust me, it's as simple as that. Now, it's simple to say, but harder to do. Because realistically, if you're already working 9 to 5 and you want to start building expertise, that means you're going to have to smash work at the beginning of your day, maybe from 6 to 8, or at the end of your day, maybe from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. or to 9 p.m. It means that you're going to have to work some weekends. And the pushback I can already hear through the screen is, what about the balance, the work-life balance? And if you want to do extraordinary things, there will be a period of time where there will be no balance. Facts. Anyone that tells you that on their way up, on their way climbing the mountain, they cared about their balance or cared about work-life balance, I believe is lying. Because anyone who has climbed any mountain has at some point put in an unreasonable amount of work to be able to do that. Once you get to a certain level, then you can start balancing. But for me, it was 2022 and 2023. Those were years where there weren't much balance, I'll be honest. 2024 is when things started to balance out. And the end of 2023. So that's what it is. Okay. You need to, step one, get reading some books. Step two, you need to take action. You have to do a lot of the things that you want to grow in expertise. And after that, you just have to help people with the expertise that you've just developed. And that's pretty much it. This is the 3-step process to make loads of money and change your life. So for me, it was get into personal development, decide what my expertise were, and then help loads of people with these expertise that I now have. So for me, it's about helping loads of people get better at speaking. And that is kind of it. The more people you help, the more money you make. And the more people you help, the more credibility you have because you have proof that you can help people. So the more you can charge. And then the more that happens, the more big organizations or higher net worth individuals ask for your help. And then it just gets a little bit easier from there. But you have to go through those 3 stages of developing yourself as a person, understanding what you want to do and who you want to be. And the second stage is doing it so much that you get really good. Learning from other people within those industries. And then step 3 is help as many people as you can with the things you learned in step 2. And this can take you, this took me a couple years. Okay? It can take you a couple years. And it can absolutely change your life. And at some point, I'll probably do further videos on each of those 3 steps. But as a starting point, those are the 3 steps to take to change your life, to make more money, to be happy, to feel like you have a purpose. Purpose isn't a bus stop that you can just walk around and find. Purpose is more like a well that you have to dig for, and and work hard to cultivate, in my experience. You don't just wake up and know, okay, this is my purpose, this is what I want to do. Nah, it's you do the personal development, you work on yourself as a person, you network, you meet people, you read books, and then you start to figure out what your thing is. Anyways, hope you've enjoyed this video. This is my first of many videos. I'm going to be very consistent on this YouTube thing. So, like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one.